Yo, 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 it's your boy Luap coming back at it again with another Pokemon Journeys episode review. Today we're going to talk about episode 71 of the Pokemon Journeys anime. So yeah, let's get just started right away with the recap, and I'll give my thoughts along the way as well as a rating at the end of it. So the episode begins with them already in the Sinnoh region because they're following up with the Project MEW stuff, just jumping around from Fiddler to the episode before that, which is, that's another story in itself. But yeah, it's nice to see them there, and it's really nice to see Gary again. As they see them in the distance talking to Asahi, again we know her name because of the, like the previous stuff. But yeah, she's talking to Gary, and Gary passes them, and we get that cool shot from the little special preview trailer that we got. And it's cool because I thought that all of the stuff that we had saw from that trailer was already done, but we got a lot of shots actually in this episode. But yeah, and we get a nice little interaction of like Gary like, oh, it's Ash, and what's your name again? And then of course Go says it's Go. And yeah, so then he just leaves, and I guess he's off to his next mission or whatever. And Go and Go and company are there to like, get started with it. We get nice Kanto shipping action, and we get Mime Jr., and I absolutely love Mime Jr. already. As well as, the new professor or whatever. Yeah, he's carrying boxes, and he's like, oh, perfect timing, and it just cuts to him carrying like boxes and stuff. It was pretty funny. And Go actually stumbles across a picture of Mew, which is really blurry and reminds me of like Bigfoot Exists pictures of like really blurry, like 3 pixels of like, it could be him, but we don't know. And with their introduction, we also did see that the professor has like some weird things on his fingertips, and I wonder if that's going to be relevant in the future, or if it's just like his, his gear or something like that. I have no idea, obviously, but yeah, I mean, it's probably just like, computer related or something like that, but it could be something. He does give off like he could be evil vibes, or he could just be a good guy vibes, so who knows with that. So yeah, so then after that, Asahi briefs him about Project MEW, and kind of briefs him about the first mission, which is to find an Alolan NineTails that is randomly in the Sinnoh region or whatever. And they set off on the adventure, and we get to see a lot of the Pokemon in action for like 5 seconds. Even Miss Drevius is here, like that's interesting. And then they hear Scizor in the distance, and Scizor actually found the Ninetales. Like they had been searching for Ninetales for a bit, but they couldn't find it, and of course the boy Scizor finds it. And there's a brief battle, but Scizor gets rocked. But one thing I did like is that we did get an interaction of Go asking Ash like, oh, Ninetales is a fairy type, what move should I use against it? And Ash is like, bro, you got steel type, that's 4 times a freaking super effective against that thing, use it. And he gets destroyed. He should have gone for Bullet Punch, not for Metal Claw, but that's a story for a different date. So during the battle, a big blizzard begins, going really can't use my words here, but yeah, big blizzard begins as the Ninetales was using the blizzard, and they just wake up in a cave a few hours later, or however X amount of time later, by Tsurugi, who saved them. And we see that he actually owns a Weavile, which is something we didn't know beforehand. And with that, he kind of like, it goes back and forth and kind of calls Go like pathetic, like go back, like this isn't for you, whatever. But of course, they're gonna persevere. And I do want to say that I love the voice actor of Tsurugi. He sounds super badass. But yeah, go outside the cave. They find Ninetales again, and this time Cinderace decides to battle it, but it doesn't go anywhere. And just as Cinderace does get a hit, and he's about to catch it, it gets hit by an ice beam. Well, none other than Regice makes his appearance, actually saving the Ninetales. And Ash says like, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of Regice. You take care of that Ninetales. And Ash, well, as Ash is battling, Go does his like, it's okay. I'll save you. I'll do it for you, not for me. I'm not trying to collect all the Pokemon. I'm just trying to save you. You see, I'm in a Project MEW kind of thing. But no, the real reason is I want to save you. And Ninetales eats it up and just gets caught by Go. And yeah, so he succeeded his first trial, I guess. And we see Pikachu getting thrown back at Ash as Regice is too much of a threat to them. We don't see anything on screen, which is ridiculous, but whatever. That's a story for a different day. I mean, he's tied with Latios, but now whatever. We're not gonna get into that. So whatever. We get Tsurugi. He sends out his Urshifu, his single strike Urshifu. Literally just one shots that motherfucker. It was so awesome. I love that he one shotted it. It was like, that's it. It is a single strike Urshifu. He just it didn't one shot it because it didn't really faint, but he just like one shot and he got sent like 70 meters the other way. And he's like, that's enough. I don't need your Regice. I'm too strong for that. And yeah, so they go back to the base, and they explain that, well, congratulations, but that wasn't even the first trial. That was a trial to see if you're eligible to be in the first trial. Basically, that was his trial to see if he's into Project MEW or not. And they congratulate him as now he is officially in the beginning for Project MEW, which was cool. That was kind of a curveball. We did think that that was going to be his first trial, but in fact it wasn't. It was actually his trial to be in the trial, if you will. So yeah, and then it finally ends with the professor explaining his desire to explore and find Mew. Like, where did Pokemon come from? Who knows? But I want to catch Mew and do it, research on that. So again, I wonder if the professor is going to be like evil and use Mew for like evil deeds and not for like research purposes, but that's way down the line. Who knows? I mean, this arc could potentially be a very long arc, but that's a good thing though, because we can have a very long Project Mew arc, coincide with a long World Coronation Series arc. And shout outs to my top 5 trainers Asher battle in the World Coronation Series. If you haven't checked that out, you should definitely do that in the Ultra rank, right? And yeah, so like it'll be cool. We can have 2 long-term arcs for both of our protagonists, and I'm super down for that. Another thing that did explain is also that like battling is going to be kind of important in this, and I don't think it's going to be battling specifically versus trainers, but it's probably going to be battling versus like really strong Pokemon, because all of the things that they're going for is going to be high leveled and or strong / rare Pokemon. But yeah, overall this was a really good episode, and I think it really sets the tone for how intense this Project New York is going to be. I'm going to give this episode a solid 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Like, it was really just a strong episode, well written, well paced, I think. Nothing dragged on for too long, and there wasn't a lot of like lollygagging moments. The only thing I didn't like is when they were first setting out to look for the Alolan NineTails. We saw a lot of like literally slideshows. It was like 5 or 6 pictures, like what I'm doing now, basically. Like, dude, this is not the same, but well, it is the same. But yeah, they were just like literally a slideshow of like shots. But other than that, everything was really well paced. They went from the beginning of it to the end of it. The whole first trial done in one episode with a Gary. We had a Gary appearance introducing 3 new characters, catching NineTails, a fight with Reggie-Eyes. Like, they packed so much into this episode. Well paced to it. Didn't seem like it was very rushed, in my opinion. The only thing that was kind of rushed was how fast Go dealt with the NineTails. Was like, hey, don't worry, I'm gonna catch you and I'm gonna return you to Alola back in your hometown and stuff like that. And he just like calmed it down like in like 30 seconds. I don't know how that works, but other than that, I really enjoyed the pacing of this one. The art was good, and I really like the new characters. I can't wait to see what Pokemon Asahi has, because they mentioned that as you climb the ranks, you can become a chaser, and then I guess a chaser is like the people that will officially be like in charge of getting the Mew, and there's only 2 right now, being Tsurugi and Asahi. So that does mean, hopefully at the end of this, we're gonna see Gary as well as not Gary as well as Go being chasers, but who's to know what else. It would also be really cool. Now hear me out. We're gonna get reappearances for the World Coronation Series. Why don't we get like reappearances of like random trainers we've come across around the history of the anime being actually in the Project Mew, like looking for Project Mew or being chasers themselves. But that's a story for another day. Maybe that's a video idea. Let me know if I should talk about that in the comments below. If you guys made it this far, you're freaking awesome. I thank you guys so much. Hit it with the like button, comment down below. Let's get a discussion going. And with all that out of the way, it's been your boy Luap, and I'm out. Peace.